test. Yes. I think it works. So YouTube integration. I will also write it in the stream only now because sorry for the delay. I was a bit chaotic. But I think it works now. Turnip says, I was able to join just as I started. Thanks so much. Where did I surrender? I'm quickly also trying to log into social media so I can post this. Oh, and Ma, welcome. And Jetlier, the Tigadiers, welcome. I'm doing good generally. I am kind of like the last few days. There were a lot of kind of like social gatherings, so I'm a bit like socially exhausted. And I also kind of like got bored of them and I wanted to draw more or do some other stuff. Also, our pen nip is almost ground down again. Maybe for today it's still fine. And what else is there? I wanted today. I kind of did how it's called, like. Oh, I can kind of show this. It's like PureRef. I'm using like PureRef for references, and I thought I saw like some videos of like people with their art progress or something. Learned up exactly. And to the sun, Kombamba. I have been doing an. This is loading. So I idea that I got because of like the many videos like that on YouTube. It's basically there are like videos that are of the type of art journey. So I wanted to do something like that, and then I spent I think a whole day just gathering like all the drawings that I've made together, or like not all of them, but many of them, and it looks really pixely here. 1 second. And I will make a video of it, I think, because I think that would be fun, right? Like, I think my drawing thingy, like I have not drawn for a long time, right? But also my drawing progress was really like non-linear, but also I like to put in the work or something. So I think it's maybe motivating because it's like, if I can do it, many people can do it. And yeah, what I also noticed is like basically like last month, if I zoom in like this, yes, I got some sleep. This is this month, right? What we did this month so far. I did also some other things. But look, last month we drew really many things, right? And the month before too. And I think if you compared to 1 year ago, 1 second, this was like June. Of course, like it's always different because like the Pride Month set buff that made you draw more. Exactly. Yeah, that's one thing. The other thing was that I randomly found like some kind of unlocks with like line texture and stuff, right? So like things that clicked in my head. I did a lot of like deep studies, and also I got like into like this Discord of an artist friend who is like a comic artist who draws like, I think like he draws like 10 pages a day, which is crazy. Where I always thought like, all these manga artists who say they draw 10 pages a week or like 1 page a day. They are crazy dedicated, right? But then like he's drawing 10 pages a day. So I think maybe everything is possible. Yeah, but that was really cool. Like I used that kind of Discord to study along, kind of like not what he's drawing, but like for me myself figuring out stuff, right? And I think like that's the biggest thing, right? Like figuring out stuff yourself and really hard thinking about it. And for me, like dissecting stuff and like just like drawing eyebrows for a few hours or something. So yeah, it's also fun to go to like different things, right? Serendip, exactly. So like that's crazy, right? So maybe I can get to that level with just like drawing hands from every angle, right? Definitely that must be possible. Yes, we can have Pride Month every day. And yeah. What else were my thoughts about this? Basically, I will also have in the video really old unreleased plan. I can spoil it a bit. So basically, I did not draw at all in high school somehow, and almost not in middle school. So I started the video on the same time that I started my kind of YouTube channel, right? It was 2019, like 2019 November. This is 2019 November. And this is like the earliest drawing that I made of Blan, or like when I kind of started to design the character, right? So that's maybe like Blan Law or something, right? I changed the like color really quickly to this here. And yeah, you can also see why I use the like dot eyes or like streak eyes, right? Because like they always looked like anatomically correct, right? Also, like I would say I'm happy about this one. I was basically happy about most of the things that I drew. Maybe not so much about this one here. Like a Trace, Peppa Pig. Like a children's book. Yes. And this was also before I worked out, right? So basically, I like will have like this thing I can zoom in and out of. And but yeah, I will probably like record a video of a longer video of it where I talk a lot about it. This year, right? And it was like 2020, and then it's like around here I started working out at home. And then I made it a bit buffer, right? And then I thought like, this is the buffest thing that ever exists in my life, right? Like, look how cheekily buff I make the shoulders. And look the massive arms, right? Also, I apparently watched and read JoJo there. Mostly, probably watched mostly. I think like part 3 or something. And yeah. I'm still proud of these clouds. I still have them as like my background thing. Because like I think this looks almost like a Renaissance painting. This part here somehow randomly. This is why I picked Clip Studio. I also liked, like before that I used, like for this I used Medibang or Alpaca, which is I think the same software in the background. And Oscar will come. Those are the next for backgrounds. It's because like I drew backgrounds before, right? And I like clouds. And clouds are also just like kind of forms, you can kind of like wing them or something. And rush art, exactly. Let's get a star. Welcome. Yeah, basically this. Like I think at this point 2020 it's like this, like I think 21 I made like the new fursuit head, so like that's basically when like the plan design was really locked in already, right? So let's I think like there are like multiple things I want to test. Oh, I can also like show you what I did like between the stream, right? So this here, we still want to do the hands, and I think like this drawing is totally, I'm really proud of it. So I think I want to take that as a challenge to add the hands to have a full expression. Like we can cut it out here. And this will be hard though, because like for the hands, I'm not particularly good at hands, but also I don't want the hands to drag the whole picture down, right? So they have to be just perfect. What a good challenge. Oh, and Kawakaos-san, welcome. We are continuing a few things today. One thing is, I will try these hands. I'm so scared of hands. I totally put this off. I did not do my hands homework. I am a bad student and did not do my hands homework. Okay, yeah. But this, then... So this is one thing I want to continue. Then... The thing is here, I did this, I think at the start of June, it was like 1st or 2nd June. And this was basically a really great god tier artist. Gave me tips. And he said basically something like, build your poses from hands further, like try to build them from like the hand expressions first. And I thought like, when do people have hand expressions? And then it was like, yeah, they have them in when they use an instrument. Then they use both hands. And then says, I think I understand hands a bit from sculpting and modeling myself. Please explain them to me. I also modeled hands, but only once, and that was confusing. Serendip says, Blunt from the past would faint looking at this. At this one, definitely. I think at this one too. Like, this was... I'm sure for like the new people that joined. This was 2020. And the thing is also, look, this is when Animal Crossing came out. I tried to draw myself as Animal Crossing. I think it's really good to like show the starting of drawing, right? Because then it shows like everyone starts somewhere. Right, but I don't want them to stay difficult. I want them to turn easy. I can do it. Then there's also like... There are also big gaps, right? Yeah, show me some blockers later. Of course, I will, how it's called, get all the information out of you, like a lemon. You're a lemon, and I'm a lemon squeezer. And the lemon is the knowledge. Okay, also... So what I also did, I did not do that for 2024, because like I would say with more like art studying, I started in like 2023, right? So like I have like, this was 24. I have like this like bigger art studying. I started in like end of 23, right? So like I would say before that was like occasionally trying to draw something, but not really building up skills like in the like kind of leveling RPG Dark Souls. Maybe the hands are last boss. Okay. Yeah, so I would say like this is when I started like really getting into it, and I think that helped me a lot. Like, a lot of people say don't start with anatomy, but that helped me a lot because it was something that's easily to like quantify kind of. So yeah, I will squeeze the knowledge out of you. Yeah, it's like a no, how it's called, leg adduction, no abduction, no adduction. Adduction is together. Machine. OPEX. Beginning of your artwork is progress. You'll great artist. Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah, I think it's good to show this, right? Because it's motivating. And then I think like it's like hard to like choose one, but that was like just like the last year. But I think like there were a lot of like progress things I made like in June and May of this year, right? This was like the New Year 2025 and it was 2026, right? But I still like improved a lot afterwards too, I think. You're already so far out of the line work, shading, and anatomy of this snake. This was right as you started streaming. Exactly. This was when I started streaming, right? So I think like even like if like this is already kind of buff, there's big differences, right? And then we have like, yeah, something like this. And this is like the cell shaded, and this is, I tried like a few days ago. I basically tried to like be as close as possible to this reference as possible, as I can, just as a test. And then I tried to like shade it like with Painterly, but then I had like the brush setting to randomize. So like this is kind of like greenish yellow and this is red yellow, but that doesn't matter too much. I like the texture of this, like the texture of these tufts thingies. Yeah, I think that's good. So like it's not like totally just, it's not just Painterly, right? It's like half Painterly. I'll call the style like this half Painterly. Yeah, because it's like if the chest is double, because it's like full, right? So I think it would fit. And also, it's kind of like implied body hair, even if it's already furry, is kind of a play. 15? Pick one second, do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pack bounce. So I thought like also here, right? Like having like implied body hair on the furry character is kind of fun, but it's also a play on like the Painterly style with still textured lines, right? Because it's like not extremely realistic, but it's fun, I think. Oh, Pen is there. And look, for Pen, I also have here this one that I drew. 1 second. This one here that I drew last month. Ta-da! Oh, oops. I'm not sure like how I can like easily stream both of the things, right? But it's like this here. Where is it? There. Ta-da! And I made him with a pizza. I think the pizza also looks good. Close this now. But yeah. Basically, I think that's also like a big difference, right? But also like between this, it's like less this difference, but also like some difference. Right, where was I? So I want to plug this hands, and I want to practice full body poses. And I want to like do these hands here. So maybe first let's just try to get the hands of the reference relatively close. Yeah. And then of course like I also have like I would say I have like pictures where I like the hands a lot. Or even like relatively old, 1 second. Because it's like such a thing where I don't have a big system yet, I think, right? 1 second. But this was like almost 1 year ago. But I really focused on the hands there. What is it? This one, right? But I also basically like used a picture of my real life hands. So I was not sure where to make it bony and where not to make it bony, right? But I think like here, I even like if like some things are still off, I like how it's like kind of like making these like thingies where it's not straight, right? They could still be like more chunky, I think. But yeah, definitely improvement over these things, which are just blocks. And yeah, I don't dislike this one either though, even if it's a bit small. I guess like for this is like the anatomy of the hand is still a bit wonky and the detail, but because the pose has a purpose, it doesn't matter that much, right? Also like there definitely other artists' arts too, where like the hands are not like that refined, but it really doesn't matter. Then the Leader says, yeah, both muscular furries are beautiful and handsome too. Thanks so much. Yeah, I think like when I like make it like art journey video, I should definitely make like some like kind of like starting disclaimer, like I will show now huge characters or something, right? With like tiny heads. Okay. So let's see. Can we do this? I'm just talking to kill time, so I don't have to draw hands, but I should also not mystify it so much. Hence attempt. Yeah. How can we make the hands? First thing is definitely chunky, right? So if we look at this here, and this here, they kind of look like carols, right? Which is not good. Like I don't want to look like a vegetable. Unless it's a pumpkin. Like if my delts look like pumpkins, then I think that's a good sign. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, hands. So I'm not sure like if we like should like kind of like feel out the spaces or something. Or if it's that's just distracting us, right? Also like maybe you can like just like first understand the shape more or something. Understand the shape. Yeah, I think it's definitely good to like understand the shape, right? So it's basically, where would the thumb be? Would the thumb be like this? Probably, right? And then there's like this thing. Was it like even like this? The buttons of furry sketches are beautiful and handsome too. Thanks so much. Squeezing the opposite direction, exactly. And for here, these things would probably go over there. And there's the thumb, right? But it looks so unnatural when I do it, okay. Then which other landmarks can we think about, right? Like if we have like these things here, which are like the knuckles, right? What is this thing? Is it meant to be like this? No, it's meant to be like this, right? And this thing is closer here because it's more up. It's like this. I'm struggling so much. And maybe here back again. And but if I like draw like these lines, And it just looks like a carrot somehow. Oh yeah. Okinanori, welcome. Welcome. Please you relax much. But yeah, if I do this, it looks just like lines, right? And I guess I can like do it like this with the 3D-ness of it. But then it's still like... And this is just like to understand the shape, right? How would this look? Oops. Do I understand it still? Kind of. I think this line is good here. Maybe I should do that always. Yes, he's squeezing for the triceps engagement. Okay, 1 second. I have to sneeze. I'll be right back. Yeah, I'm back. Also, I think when we draw the fingers, right, they could be like this, but I think I want to make them a bit more blocky, right? Maybe a bit wider, just for the feel, right? Like they should be almost like this. If they are viewed from the front or something, right? They're not paws, they're just like blocky fingers. I think that's a good idea. And we still have 4 fingers, right? It's the original art. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's great. I also really like these fingers, right? Because they are also like a bit like more blocky than the... Maybe they are a bit more blocky than the really humans, but like all they are totally the same blockiness of really humans, right? Yeah. I like also like how it's like the shading doing that, so that we don't get in this problem of like it looking like a carrot, right? So maybe shading is doing a lot of heavy lifting in a lot of fingers, right? It's so interesting. I also don't want to like dissect like someone's art too much. But maybe it's good. Maybe it's bad. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's bad. Okay, let's continue. So... Right. Relatively blocky. Alright, it's done. Blocky. 3D shape. And kind of these edge outlines. It's called topology. Kind of like topology, right? Topology. Kind of like making a 3D model out of it. I know when I modeled my own hand on my character in 3D that I also made it a bit stumpier than it's normally. Like I tend to do that, I think, to make it more like look kind of brutish, monsterish. A tiny bit monsterish, even if it's mostly like human, right? So... let's see. I think the most important thing is like here showing that it's like, yeah, it's like so much like showing that it's like 3D, right? So I guess like this top part is important. This is not as... probably like all bigger, right? Oops. And they're making the... This could be a bit... What? I'm so scared. Okay. Maybe I could even like almost block it out with the shading first. But it seems also like kind of cheating. Or not cheating, there's no cheating. But... I'm not sure if it would help me. Not sure if it would help me. Also this distance here, so it could be a bit lower maybe. Just a bit. Or maybe not, or maybe yes, or maybe not. This here, maybe it would be much lower. So then we have like the second one, which is basically under this one here. And it's of course longer. So this is like the longest one, right? Yeah, my pen nib is almost grown down. We'll just delete these things, you know, because it just makes it look like carrots. It still looks like... It's interesting how like this part of the finger is over it. And then it's like under the other things, right? One, two. I wish I had a tip for the hands, but I kind of just hope it looks good. Maybe I just like should draw a lot of hands, right? But I already did like a 100 hands drawing things and then another 100 hands drawing. So I think like if I would draw 1,000 hands, I would not necessarily get better at it, right? So of course like there's also like always like learning with intent and stuff. But maybe I just like need to like feel out the shapes or whatever. But I think every time when something is kind of nebulous or vague, and like kind of like winging it, vibing it, I don't have the best like talent for it, or like how it's called, like innate ability of it, right? So I think this part of art I'm not as good at, but I think the things where it's like, yeah, you can just like study all the muscles, then it's like, yeah, I can do that because it's just like you can spend time on it and get everything out of it, right? This looks like it's also like hard for me like to like know which shapes to exaggerate. I'm thinking right now that if this finger is like this, that I will do it like this. But then it could also be that I do it like this or something. Like I think like it's all really kind of random. And both don't look good, right? And then maybe... I guess it's still nice to see, like, in a pose, which of the shapes are in front and which are not in front, right? I'm just thinking about that right now. It's also like... Yeah, I'm not sure, like, I think like what I learned like last month and the month before is basically like that. When I like I can learn to see things that I have not noticed before, and that's something that other people just can copy. But for me, it's kind of like if I like find it out and then word it for myself in my head, then I can notice it, right? Like for me, like right now that like this thing is in front of this thing. If I would have drawn it like 6 months ago, I would not even have noticed that, right? I would just have said, yeah, there are like 4 fingers. Philip says, I feel like maybe the thing parallel lines could be applied to hands as long as the fingers aren't spread. Like if you look at the original, the knuckles are aligned with the fingertips. True. This here, right? You mean this and this? But here, is it here lined? Is it not like this and this? But maybe I could draw both first, right? There's like a bit of like... I guess this is kind of feeling out the space or something. But what you mean is that I do something like this, this, this. It feels kind of like a game, which is nice. Okay, this, this, and then here I have this. But here it's not right, but that's normal, it's not here, and then... Why can I not just do this here, right? It's not possible, that's bad. Maybe... But maybe these things are all parallel, right? Like maybe this here. We can say it's parallel maybe. And here with that one. Maybe that works. But it looks so flat now. Like it looks more flat than the other one, right? Maybe not doing it on the ends of it, but just on the like middle of the fingers. In this pose, where it's like not extended, right? But it looks so flat, I think. I think this looks less flat, right? Okay, let's try. this. Hmm. We can definitely beefen them up, right? Also like split it maybe into different sections. Maybe like this. And they're kind of wider. But this should be relatively long in this direction too, right? I don't want to make it too big, otherwise. Just moved it. I just moved it a bit, okay. The thing is, they are relatively long, right? So maybe I should even do it like this, but then they look longer than they are wide. Just a tiny bit. And I also think like probably there is a trick to it that I can find out with time, right? Yes, like this. Okay. And this thing, I think like this hand, if you just look at this hand isolated, I think it just looks weird. Like, it's like one of those poses where translating them to 2D is, or like to like a pose, is not the most readable thing, but because like it's like with both fingers, with both hands, it should be fine, right? So it's a bit outside. Oh, then is saving me with his knowledge of hands. Can I show this on stream? Is it fine? Hands care package. Oh, what's hands care package? That's so sweet. Peach one is realistic and purple is stylized. Unweit Pocket V understand hands. Index finger as long as the back of the hand. Not more that could be explained. Yay. Yeah, thanks so much, that's so sweet. So also like I think it's good to take topics like this really slowly, then they are less scary, right? Okay, so he showed me this here. And this here. Of course, like with models, it's always like it doesn't take everything from real life, right? So like it's already stylized. We don't have to like take every decision the same. But it's interesting how other people think about it, right? Index finger is as long as the back of the hand. Yeah, I've heard that the two sometimes. Also, I'll be right back. I'll quickly get some water. Okay, I'm back. Right, I'm being watered like a flower, and so I can bear fruit, and the fruit will be the fruit of my labor, which will be hands. Something. So, where was I? Right. Then it showed me these things, how he sculpts hands in a basic way. Did you just sculpt it right now? That was really fast. These two, right? So let's see. So I think like he does the like kind of finger. Is it meat or is it tendons? It's the kind of like skin punching up and whatever. It's basically in this way here, right? Like there are like the finger joints. It's like between it, right? The thing is, for me, when I look at my own hands, it doesn't even look like that much. I mean, like, it does look like definitely more on the top part, but on the bottom part, maybe my hands are just big. It's basically really like samey kind of, but maybe it's also like more of a feel thing, right? And which other things? Look, I like how he like in the realistic hand, you can also see whatever this is called, where it still follows like I guess like it's like the finger tendons or something, right? That go here. And Blender's asset library. Multicolor T blocked out. Okay, so basically like for his blocked out, we definitely see really prominent the, how was it called? I think it was called the Tina Eminence or something. Eminence. 1 second. Tina Eminence, yes. Eminence. And yeah, size of the fingers. Nice. Vision performance. Probably. Yes. Nice. But yeah, the thing is, like, that's the biggest problem for me is kind of like, I think like with, how it's called, proportions, it could also be better. But the biggest problem is like how it behaves in 3D space, because it's like so many axes and movements and stuff, right? So I'm not sure like how we can fill that gap easily, because like for other things I can just like draw a lot. But it's not exactly perfectly what I can do with that. Now it looks thin again, right? The thing is like I think like I like that I make some kind of shape instead of just flat, but the shape, it's not really like, the sense of it is not really consistent or follows not a lot of logics. So I think I'm introducing a lot of weird geometry, if you would call it like that, in the like if it would be a Blender model or something. I'm also not sure how I should like totally reduce these things like the knuckles, right? There's definitely a lot of shadow here. And it's relatively short. And another knuckle here. And they also have to be the same size, which is also difficult, right? This is not the most difficult. And this here. I also like how this is like not totally straight. It's not like totally symmetrical. It goes a bit like more like this, right? can like get this detail down. There too. Kind of a lot smaller. I guess like a good idea to think about it is that it has like a kind of gentle curve, right? These things. Like it's not like straight, it's not like this, but it's more like this kind of. From this angle at least. So even this one here, I think they have like a gentle curve to it, right? Something like that. And I think like this here goes really straight down, and here it also has more curve. Also, how is it in other artist streams? Like, I think like when I see other artist streams, the like thoughts that I have in my head while drawing, I voice them out, but I think they often don't voice them out, right? But they are secretly thinking about it, definitely, right? Think about that. This part and 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 this part, yes. This part and this part, this part and this part. I want to like show this a bit more prominently because I think it's also like a landmark, right? So like I can exaggerate it a bit. This is the part of where the ulna is like a bone outside. Your hand, fist, sketch are great. Thanks much. Yeah, thanks much for the encouragement. Then I'll not be scared. The thing is also, if you draw a knuckle, right? Can we draw it by having like a dark thing inside? Or is this too much? Like, can we always have like... Because it kind of looks like this, right? But this would be too much. Maybe it's also like too detailed, right? But I also don't want it to look like totally like a sketch, right? And why is it that way? Let's see. When we close it, when I close my into a fist, why does it make that shape? Okay, I have to like make the same pose again. The triceps. Like, what is the thing that makes it? Like this whole thingy. On the shadow. Is it like something? Making the weirdest poses with my hand. Okay. I think for that, let's look a bit about the anatomy. Knuckles. Anatomy of the knuckles. Knuckles. If I googled it, there are a lot of Sonic knuckles. Says, I will say, one of the fun things about art is that it doesn't have to be perfect matched how the reference does it. You can convey the actions or pose while drawing it in a way that feels more natural to your style. The thing is, were as big as you usually draw them, it would inevitably look different. Yes, exactly. Okay, if I look Knuckles Wikipedia, it still shows me like Knuckles. But not like the hand knuckles. It's like a scientific name. The thing is like I want to do both, right? I want to draw it realistic, but then do it not realistic. But I want to know why I draw this or why I don't draw this, right? Or like this part here. But I guess I don't draw it. Hmm. Yes. Triceps. Side triceps pose. And then we can like kind of like find common things, right? Okay, they all do them differently. Move them totally. Maybe it's not called. I thought it was a side triceps pose, but I guess it's not a side triceps pose. I feel cheated now. I'll just list triceps pose. Maybe then it shows it. Oh, Sirius and Slow, welcome. They all have like the hands behind the arm. I'm trying my best here. Knuckles from Sonic Boom. Is Sonic Boom the kind of animated series? I think this also stands out tiny bit too much. But this one is fine then. But why? And also the thumb, right? Which is kind of here. I see it's both. Okay. Didn't know that. But it was just a series. I also don't play many Sonic games. I like it. I think this like texture thing is here. Maybe like this. This. thing is, I think almost like if I draw over this again, it will look less natural again. But I can try it one more time. And I think about the shapes more. More of the shapes. So like a really great tip is like that, like what I learned from like this thing. It's like bony part here and like fleshy part here, right? But here it's like the other way around, where the bony part is here and the fleshy part is here, right? Bony part here. Fleshy part here, maybe like this. But then here it should be like outside, right? So like maybe like I can like so that this is like fleshy here, bony here, and then here it's also bony. So with a this is the fleshy part from the other side. I totally cannot get like the... I want it to feel like it's really 3D, while it's not even colored, right? I don't want it to feel thin. Maybe if there's just some overlapping thing. And here, let's see. If the fleshy part again on the top. Fleshy part on the top, it's like this part here, right? And the bony part down here. Bony part. Bony part. This to be not totally symmetrical, right? So like a bit longer here than here. bony part. This is longer, right? So longer here. And longer here. I'm feeling like right now bony parts and non-bony parts. Maybe that will help more. Also like make them thinner. The thing is like for... Maybe I should not draw any... I don't have to draw nails, right? I can. Maybe they will help me for the video orientation. And also like I can like just do it like in the reference, right? I don't want human nails, I think. I think it's also too distracting. Maybe I will not do any nails at all. Or maybe just like something like that. Where it's like not an own thing. It could here also be that like the nail is here and you don't see it because you don't see it in the shadow, right? Big. It looks like a thumb. Maybe like this. This is also like too strong, I think. And the same here. We have it's kind of old, right? So maybe like this, then Yes. Like the shape of it like this. It's this. They're like deceptively thin, I think. Then there, like this. And that's better. We can like totally like make the nails less unappealing too. Maybe something like this. I like that with the like more bony, like thinking about boniness, like that we added some kind of texture to it, right? I think that's a good thing. It's basically an addition that we needed. Maybe here. I want to like show that this part is like really blocky though, right? Like this part. It is almost like a square. But shouldn't it look like a drawn on square? Almost like this or something. I think that's actually helping it. Yeah, I think that's helping it. But how can I make these observations into things that I can remember, right? So here I want to like have like these things are just like the soft music background gets sweeter and sweeter in your streams. Thanks so much. That's made by myself. And A-Draw, welcome. Yeah. I decided to make the hands a bit more upwards so that the drawing is not as low, so that it looks like wider again. But I think like this thing here, and can I still make it some more thicker? Oh, whoops. To like it's an own layer. So this would make it wider. Yeah, maybe something like this, right? But then the pose seems a bit off. It's a bit hard to say, right? Because it's foreshortened and relatively long. So I have to think about, I want to make it look thick, but not change the angle. Right? So many decisions. Just a tiny bit. No, but like it needs to be, this needs to be thinner than this, right? Like this needs to be really like squeezed together. It's important. Also, we can add the I think I tried a tier 2, but like we can add a tier 2, so like basically we just like get the like coloring really low. Nice. And better. I think so much. Yeah, the thing is with like the hands, like we do get something out of it, right? Like we do get this like make this also like a block, but like this is also like a block basically, right? Basically like this. Does it look like less 3D now? To welcome. I think like the front knuckles look all a bit off still, but we can figure that out. Let's do the shot. Like relatively sloppy, so it looks like it's like dangling off, right? I even add like a bit like this here. Oops. And right, he's wearing like a lifting belt or something, or maybe it's a champion's belt, I'm not sure, but we will not draw that one, so our shot just gets down here, or maybe even like this. Would it be inside the hands or not? And then right? I like that there's like some kind of empty space here. I want to have the tool. Read this as like one kind of fold. If it's not as much there in the real one. And here, you have a bit like these, like, go to the seams, right? That's like more important to do with the shading. I did it here just with the shading, right? But these things are in the way. Let's clean up our room a bit. Okay, another layer. And I think like even like if I like kind of spend like nebulous, that's like my favorite word now, right? Nebulous time with studying these things, right? I think I can learn a lot still. What Tito says. Hey Tito, your profile pic looks like Plant's oldest Sonar art. One second, check it. Oh, and Art of RT, thanks so much for the raiders. Welcome everyone, raiders of Art of RT, who's writing biceps and triceps galore, which is perfect. Because look, we are trying to draw. Where are my colors? Yeah. We are trying to draw Okio Kamui from Hosamo. And the original one was drawn by Kamakao-san, who is also honoring us with his presence. And the rest of the people who are in the chat are also honoring me with their presence. Like, why are you also great artists? And why are you furries? I mean, I can understand it, because I'm also a furry. And Peter, welcome. So yeah, basically today we are plunging right into S tier difficulty of drawing hands. This is how far we came so far. And I think this is how we had it before. And this is what we have now. So I think like, if we compare it, we can already see, I mean like this is also not bad. And what I like about this one is that it tries to like go over all the knuckles at the same time. And also try to add it here. But what I like about this one here more is that we consciously choose which is like in front and which is not. And we also kind of like see that like the fingers can like sometimes be behind and then be in front, which is kind of crazy why they're doing that. And also I've been thinking more about like which part of those, which side of the finger make more bony and which more fleshy. Where here it's like this is more fleshy and this is more bony, but it will make sense more with more shading when we're also adding pens. Let's just quickly get, there's still like something in the way. Who drew this here? It was me. Okay, so tasteful glute sway. That's a good question, right? The next thing is like, do we draw the tail? Because it's a side pose, right? Which tail does he have? Do we draw it down? Do we draw it extremely straight? What does the original have as a tail? How does the tail look like? 1 second. I will research that. He must have a tail, right? Osamu Wiki. I think he's like a husky or a wolf, right? Is he a husky or a wolf? Maybe he's a wolf? Or a husky? Husky or wolf? The 5 sausages that are pain to deal with. Right, but I don't want them to look too much like sausages. The worst to draw. Wait a second, what? Oh. Look at it, it's so fluffy. So like this is just like a cutout. But this is the original art. And look how fluffy it is. Nice. Wait a second, can I show this? Yes, I can show this, right? Nice. So basically, it means the back side is totally gray and the underside is white, right? And it's really fluffy. So we can like, kind of like, what's it called? Yeah, we can just make it really fluffy. And Psych Hydra, welcome. Yeah, Psych Hydra is always telling me when I post my art on his server, he's always telling me, your art is improving a lot, and that really motivates me. Thanks so much. Luffy tail. So that also means, I think like tail is also something that like kind of like is an emotive pose, right? Maybe we want to commission you. That's a good sign for me as an aspiring artist who has a commission queue that he wants to like, or like at least like people that I can take on. And yeah, that definitely says something. Peter says, oh, Oditaka. Yes, this is like him being French. I can always echo. This is my powerful echo voice. But it's also my inside voice, right? Where I'm like, what is this? Wait a second. I have to train hands. I have to train. I have to train hands. If I train hands, I will be so powerful that every comic page will be full of conveyed emotion through hand gestures. Or something. Yes. I love the reverb. It's working good, right? Oh my, that's where the cloud is Maximus. What are you saying? Okay, maybe I overdid it. It should not be over the... It shouldn't be over the back, because then the back looks small, right? But I like the natural sway that it made, because like the lifting belt is so small, so like it can kind of like get inspiration from that. Yeah, I like this line here that we added. And we also like can later cut it out. So like we should not be too... How it's called? We should not be like too scared of cutting it out in a way that cuts out big parts of the picture. That's not a problem. Something like this. Yeah, the tail, right? For the tail, I think we need more space, so we kind of move all of these things. Let's see where they are. Gecko. This guy, right? I think this thing here. Let's put this down here for now. We have space for the tail. The problem is the way we will crop this. Like we will crop this later to be like this, right? Like the bigger we make it, the more it will get vertical, and I think that's bad because then it looks less wide, but also because then the things looks less big. So we should just cut it off just right above this thing here. So maybe we can make like the whole section here. Also because it's like here the same, right? Basically we can just like whole thing and smash it up a bit. Smash it up a bit. But my pants are a bit lower, right? I see the problem. Basically, oops. We'll get this whole thing here. Kleines pants. In the original one. Basically, is a bit less, but it's also this can be higher. Something like that. Okay, let's just quickly color the pants so that it's easier, right? Yes, I will always have fun. Thanks so much. Yes, please eat a lot out of Ati. Great stream. Okay. So if I frame it like this, then we just have this here, kind of where the tail swooshes down, right? Yeah, I will quickly color the pants, otherwise they'll confuse me probably. Oh, yeah. Quickly color pants so they don't confuse us. There's a lot of craziness going on. I want to like at least spend so much time on the hands on this thing that I can say afterwards that I'm happy about the hands, right? So I'm still thinking like a lot of like saving the knowledge points that I'm gathering for hands. Like one part squishy, one part bony is definitely one of the biggest tips. This is a little curious. Lan, would you also be able to do an ASMR live stream someday in the future? Yes, I would definitely do that. Definitely can do that. We'll write this down. Great idea. I also recorded a new ASMR video yesterday, but then there was like so many other things. But I will definitely also post sometime soon. And my like art progress video, right? Which will be a bit longer. That one I want to record too. Like I already like I showed like this year, where it's like, this is how I started. And which kind of milestones were there, right? And then June, which was kind of crazy. Like, look at this. Also, like, I think, like, the color coordination of all of them is kind of nice, right? It's, like, kind of everything has a bit of purple to it. Probably because I use, like, purple shading. I think that's nice, I think. So... What was I? Do we really want to make the same color for the pants? Maybe a bit boring, right? And here it also looks weird. Like, there's nothing here, and I think that's a better idea, right? Otherwise it's kind of distracting, I think. Yeah, something like this is better, I think. Something like this. This. Means. This. Also have like different colors for the shirt, right? Let's also have different colors for the pants, maybe. Okay. Like, what is that? Just a little bit less. And yeah. Kaiwo J, welcome. Nice to have you here. Oh, I'll be right back. I'll quickly get even more water. I'll be right back. And then we will draw the tail. Okay, I'm back. And Tadaima. And yeah, I drank a waterfall dry, definitely. Delicious. So there's still some things going on here. Okay. Let's do the shading first here. I think we can use probably the same shading as here. But we should maybe split it instead, right? Just to be safe. Like it could be that like if we like use different colors or different materials for the pants and the tank top, then it could be that we want it different or something, right? Especially if it's like close to black. Or the other way around where it's like especially close to... That's nice. We can decide on a color. Something that doesn't like take away, like distract too much from him. I think. Like this. Not sure. Yeah. Between here. Or pants shadow. Maximum pink is maximum. Oh, yes. Yeah, that's kind of funny, right? What kind of like because pink is like considered a girly color. So like if or like stereotypically, of course, right? So that kind of means like I don't care in a good way. Exactly. Always hydrate. Okay. So it's kind of hard to see. But if we squint a bit, then we can make out that here kind of this thing. Here. Something like this. Nice. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's kind of like the vibe of it. Name of the muscular husky furry you're sketching. He's very beautiful and handsome. It's called the Horkeo Kamui from Osamu or Horkeo Kamui. I'm not sure how it's called in English. I guess it's the same. Okay, maybe here too. Maybe some people just say Kamui or Horkeo or Horkeo Kamui. And it's like an Ainu wolf? Husky? Wolf? Husky? Wait a second, I can Google that. It says Isekai Kamui Kotan Kara Arawareta. So from the other world of Kamui Kotan, which is like in this game there's like different kind of pantheon mythological worlds, and that's the one from Ainu people mythology. So there's also this like, what was it called? Pokuru. How was it called again? We'll use the wiki for it. Pokuru. I think that. 1 second, I will quickly research it. Look, I like this is again the thing like where we tried kind of squinting, but again with the knowledge that like the folds kind of like make these like bunched up hills, right? And I think that's nice. Like it's kind of like even like if we not got all the same folds but just like did some random, it still has some logic to it, right? Alright, the other awesome character from the same mythology is Kopokuru? Which is like kind of like the little tiny, kind of like gnomes in German? Or Gartenzwerge? And it's also in, how it's called, the game that we played with the fox, right? No, with the wolf. What was it called? Okami, right? That's also one of those. Includes phenomens not present in Japanese. Yeah, it's a bit like, I think like, oh, Nice. Yeah, maybe like because of my German language with more consonants, it's like easier than in Japanese or something. Right. I think this almost looks like velvety, right? Of course, we can always change the color of it. So we could, like, for example, just like have this here, put it up here, and then we'll turn it blue. Nice. Dark. This is so fun. Or any color we like. Maybe something like this, but it's like too saturated, right? It shouldn't distract too much. Out, with, out, with. And Thriving Dreamer will come. You can also like try the bland combination. This kind of blue, right? It's kind of too bland. Okay. Close the gaps here. One color. Use this on this here directly. And nothing can happen, right? I can just like draw over it. We don't have a problem. Can be darker though. Okay. So you wood and blue sky, and it was very well done, especially the shading and lighting. Good job. Thanks so much. That was like an experiment, right? So it's here. I drew that like the last, like, I think a night, like 2 days before or something. I experimented with some different things, right? Like one is like this kind of painterly painting, and the other thing is like using painterly painting, but also still having some lines to add some texture. And for the painterly paint, I just used like the standard gouache brush. This one here. Yeah, glad you like it. So, right, the next thing I think. Right, the tail. We wanted to try the tail, right? So I think like the tail should be. Let's call it tail. I think the tail should also be just going down, so it doesn't take up too much information, right? And it's really fuzzy, so like I think like it's great that it has like
Wait, year only 123 just followed.
Oh, thanks so much for following. Yay, for follow goal 880, dang, we're almost at 1000. Yeah, what I really appreciate here, or like something that I like learned, just 1 month ago, right? That the reason this tail here works so well, I think, is because the fur, it makes like these shapes, right? Like really like nothing going on and then like a lot of things going on. So that's the thing really cool. That also on the bottom here, right? And also that it's not like uniform, right? Like it goes like here, it goes like there. Like if we just like paint this, it's there, then it's there, here it's there. Like the vectors, right? I think that just makes it like look really floofy. And like with like almost no rhythm to it, or like the rhythm of it creates a rhythm in randomness, right? One day we'll reach 1 million subs. Yes. Yeah. So basically like the tail, it's meant to be like kind of like this, maybe. So be like under this. And what's the like, general angle of it? Maybe something like this, right? But then it will be cut out anyways. I want it to be like relatively we will cut it out here approximately, right? So maybe it's like even like too big to show anything here. Also, this is the golden spiral. Okay. Maybe it should be a bit more like this. Maybe. It's not like uniform. Like these model. Mhm. So bigger ones and smaller ones, right? coloring. Oops. Then the color of the pants. Moved here. No. Oops. Okay. Totally floofy. Oh, Denon says, my own stream is coming up soon. Give me strength. Yes, Denon is a great modeler and gamer and artist, and he also started recently streaming. So I think it's like his second stream or something. So if you all want to check him out, I can recommend him. And he's also really relaxing, I think. Right. I cannot follow him because I'm already following him. Maybe I can rate him or something. But only if he wants. I don't want to overwhelm him. Yes, and you got this. You can do it. Yeah, what kind of content is Denon doing? Last time he modeled something in Blender, which was really cool. I'm not sure what he's doing right today. This thing here. This thing here. Later we will edit it again, but okay. Let the shot go over the tail a bit. Like this. Shouldn't be too distracting though. Yeah, no problem. I do feel like it. Let's see. Yeah, so like the coloring of the tail, you can see it here already, right? Like it's kind of like in the back side, but just the underside is lightly colored, so maybe like something like this. Now it's looking like really roughy though. Roughly. Maybe something like this. So like kind of like this too small things? Maybe it's a bit too small things. In this case, we can just take this thing here, heal it up a bit. It should follow the form, right? I mean, we will cut it out later. Like, we will cut it out so it's like this. Maybe it will not. Right? Kind of like here, we'll cut it out. It's maximally impactful. That still makes sense. I think this body is distracting kind of. And I make this part less distracting. Right? Maybe just move the rod. Something like this maybe. Oh, wait, thanks so much for the tip. Haven Artist Nook 2923. Love, keep up the great work. Thanks so much. It's so motivating. Yeah, for me it's also like it's cool that I can just stream this, right? Because it's like it helps me focus. It's a challenge, and there are a lot of like people in the chat that help me, right? So it feels kind of like some art class or something. And Kitsune Kimo, welcome. Nice name, because I like foxes, because I'm a fox. Maybe something like this. Ta-da. Here. There be some, or be in dark. Maybe. also try to make like the whole, because it's like more in the background. Could try this. Just like a bit. Art class two times back in high school. Yeah, I did not have any art class in high school. So I think maybe that's why I did not draw anything in high school and not develop anything in this. But there were some people in high school who drew like Dragon Ball characters, and I somehow never thought about this. Start working out about things. You are all doing great at workout. Okay, I will quickly also try. Also, let's delete these things here that don't make too much sense right now. Even occlusion 2, right? Like, where was it meant to be here? Okay. And just really quickly testing the shading on the hands, because I think like we can go back and forth with that, right? But I think like the shading helps us like feel more the 3D shape, so I cannot imagine it that well, so maybe shading helps us a bit in that. Of course with time I want to like find out how to make that perfectly with just like the knowledge and stuff, right? But this helps us a bit here. Here. And this thing here we also have to draw, right? Let's see, it's maybe... This is like this kind of. to make this a bit more clearer. But that's like these things almost connect together. Yeah, but this also goes like a bit, right? This. Maybe something like this. There can be a bit more dark here. There also. And later fill this up with. Okay. This maybe I can also break up a bit, right? Yeah, I think like that, like adding the shading to this already helps it to read it much better, right? Maybe I should build the fingers with shading? Not sure about that. Not sure. Add shading to the fingers. Let the viewer notice the knuckle bones. Exactly. Knuckle bones. Also not where it wouldn't be, right? Was 10 minutes late. No, no problem. Aim and occlusion. So, and I think like aim and occlusion is really important here too, right? Yeah. Because the fingers are like smushed together with other things, right? They're perfect for aim and occlusion. Hope it reads well though. The problem is like with ambient occlusion is that it can also guide the eye a bit too much. So if it's too much, or like if we like end up like using the thing that would be main shadow and giving it ambient occlusion, then it will like make everyone look at their hands too much. And we don't want it, right? So like we can totally have less ambient occlusion too. Oh, I'll be right back. I'm back now. I'm totally fine. So let's see. The thing is like, maybe this is a bit too big here. Okay. Where else can we add it? Maybe here? On the Extensor Digitorum? No, I'm not sure. Extensor Digitorum. Extensor Digitorum. I should pronounce it in Latin, right? Digitorum. Digitorum. Is it even the Extensor Digitorum? Or is it that one? Let's see. Oops. Yeah, that one is the Digitorum. This one is the other one. For arm muscles. The palmaris longus. Extensor Digitorum. Extensor carpi ulnaris. Extensor carpi ulnaris, I think. Extensor carpi ulnaris. And then we have the flexor carpi ulnaris, which is this one here. And the anconeus, which is maybe this one here. Anconeus. Okay, do we all get this? Also the people in the back here. We have Extensor Digitorum, Extensor carpi ulnaris, and Flexor carpi ulnaris. And this is the Extensor carpi radialis longus. Carpi radialis longus. Yes. Carpi radialis longus. Easy, right? So everything with radialis is on the thumb. Anything with radialis is on the other side of the thumb. It's like little finger, which is the not the Tina eminence, but the Hypothena eminence. Hypothena eminence. Hypothena eminence. Or Hypothena eminence? Hypothena. Yeah, Hypothena eminence. Okay, perfect. And yeah. Not too bad. This one here, I'm not sure if we should like it like this. Or just have it not shown. But yeah, with tiny things like this, I can decide it later. I just like want to remove these things here, or just like color them dark. Probably just color them with the tank top color. Like this, or is this weird? Should be relatively smooth though. So I think this line relatively smooth. Relatively smooth. Furby speedrun challenge. Speed drawing challenge. Oops. This. And then we have the shot color. Then we have the shot color. Like this. Nice. And we can do the shading here. Maybe a bit more here. Seeming like the second one here, right? But what is the explanation for it? Maybe it's just like different tendons of the digitorum. The human looks AI. I thought so too to a point, but I think that's a real human, and it's just like one that has like kind of like the biggest arms of everyone or something. But yeah, basically like AI also does like a lot of like really sparkly highlights somehow, right? I guess like because like it's kind of like, I guess like AI, the things that it does are kind of like maximalism, like it doesn't pull back anything at all. But I think this one is a real picture. And you can also, to be safe, I also researched that same bodybuilder, who's called Relly Winkler, and I checked on like videos too that were like uploaded like 10 years ago, and I collected some references, and he kind of just has like these like big arms, right? So that's a good example. Yeah, it's just like how it's called, like a triceps pose, right? There's also these pictures from a video that I took for reference to. He's here. So he just like has like really like kind of like really extremely big arms. Maybe because he liked working with arms or something, I'm not sure. Like of course they're like all totally like drugs and stuff, right? But I guess like he has great arms, so maybe like it doesn't mean that the others don't train their arms, but maybe he trained their, or like, I'm not sure why he has like bigger arms than other parts of the body. But yeah, there's also like one other picture that I like of him, which is like, I think like it's good because like I think like bigger than proportional arms are great for like kind of brute characters like Hulk or something, right? Or like tank characters. This one too, right? Like this one looks like totally like that's not a human, right? But I think it's a real thing. And it's also like older than like when like all the AI thing came up. So the other question though is like, why, like it seems like I have no idea about like this like professional bodybuilding thing, right? But why, like it's like kind of like with what's called it's kind of like a sport or like a contest. And I think like with like Olympics and stuff, like for example with like swimmers, all the top swimmers kind of look the same with a build, right? So that probably means that like people, like the judging who wins does not look at much at arms, right? Otherwise they would all have more like disproportionately big arms, right? So maybe they just don't like judge for arms or something. But yeah, I have no idea about it. Right. It's also kind of like, you can kind of like cheat a bit with angles, right? Like, when I take a picture of myself flexing in the mirror, then I'm like, yeah, I have to take this picture in the like bathroom mirror or like in the changing room mirror, and then I like look like super huge, right? But of course, like with like, this is also really cool, right? It's just like great for like references for kind of Hulk characters. Yeah, I think it's also an angle thing, right? Like for example, in this one too, and also in this one, like if you know like camera terms or like functions, it's also like a focal length, right? Like they use like such a like, is it like called wide or narrow focal length? But it's like basically if the camera is really far from you, then you get less foreshortened and then you look wider, right? Because then it's like, it's the same with like faces, right? If you get like, if you have like a face and look in the camera, then there's like kind of like this like, oh, this is your eye and the ear may be like this, right? But then if it's like high focal width, then it's like the eyes like just like this and like your face looks like this, right? This is like one thing where they kind of like use like the, of course like it's not cheating, it's just like different camera angles, right? Or like camera settings. Yeah. What I think about it from a perspective of like for myself for workout is basically that like I can totally work out arms more than most people, because I think like I like the like proportions when their arms are a bit over proportionate to the rest, right? I think that kind of looks good. Same with forearms, right? But I guess like forearms are not judged at all for like this bodybuilders. I'm not sure. Serendip, exactly. Why are you calling myself out? This is how it looks the best. Then taking pictures in front of a steamy mirror while shaking his 360 camera, and cropping into the 10% of the picture. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, I think I got almost banned from my Discord for that. Or like not banned, but it was a critique point. And Maggie the Wolf, welcome. But I think like if you're happy with a picture that you make, then it's worth it, right? Even if it's out of focus and stuff. It's just you should just be happy about yourself. Yeah. So let's add more shadow here. There kind of. I think like when I do like these shadows, I think about both things. Like I think like of the real picture and also logic, and then I decide like where I use what more. I think I cannot talk anymore. We can just like hint about these things just with the shading. It's totally something that I want to see here. Huh? Totally something that I got from this one here, right? But maybe also not too much, because we don't want it to look bony. Yeah, we don't want it to look bony, that's important. Random says, wait, I haven't commented on the fluffy details. Looks so comfy. Yes. It's totally inspired by this, right? So I hope I can do it justice. But yeah. On this side too, right? But yeah, I think like for like in general, for gathering reference pictures, it's extremely important that it's like not AI, right? Because like AI can just make like, I mean like if you are at that level of detail, right? In general too for me, I think, but if you like want to like figure out which muscle goes where, then there can be a lot of like misinformation, fake knowledge out there in drawings, right? But it's also why I've been like kind of like looking at like kind of like old bodybuilder footage and stuff, and like watching like kind of like YouTube DVDs of that, and then like hoping that like there are parts of it where they don't just work out or pose, because that's like the most unnatural poses, right? Mikey the Wolf, back the watch streak, nice. Speaking about Tokyo Kamui, I had Oscar the Crocodile to do an artwork of it. Nice. Who is Oscar the Crocodile? Is he like a furry artist? That sounds great. You can even like make this a tiny bit. No, that's not how I want it. I want it like here. Like this more. Okay. It's important too, right? Yeah, we can line from the shot maybe. Shot in here, right? Nice. I'm getting a bit hungry, so I'll continue much longer. But I think we did the scary thing with the hands, right? I think I'm relatively happy with them. Can of course like improve them a bit more, but I think we have a lot of the kind of like They are relatively wide, relatively square, and not too bony, but still have some character. Use here. Look maybe good.
Lucky Milk Tier just followed.
Lucky Milk Tea. Thanks for following. Also great name. What's my favorite body part to draw and to train? Definitely chest. After that biceps. But first chest. I think chest is just fun. Like it's fun to train. I'm not the best at activating it. So it's a great challenge. And pump feels great. And it's fun to draw because like it adds a lot of character to the character, right? Like it's kind of like if you like draw a big chest. I mean, like if you draw a big chest and like no arms at all, it looks weird. But if you draw a big chest, it's often like kind of like himbo, big defender type character or something, or like big comedic character. Says it really is how hard it is to feel one's chest. You have to trust the process. Right. And for me it's a really long process. But definitely with time, right? I think in this area we can also like add a bit more ambient occlusion. Like, where would it be good? Where does an ambient occlusion live? Maybe here. Nice. Yeah. Thinking about it, it's kind of sad, right? That like when someone works out and then people say like, it looks AI generated. It's kind of like if someone makes like a really realistic painting and then people say like it's AI generated, right? So I hope my stuff doesn't look AI generated. But of course, like, I will not draw no highlights because AI loves highlights, right? But like, kind of like AI, I'm not sure why it does that. But the eye always draws the shading like this. Like AI loves to do on the shoulder part. It loves to just do this, right? Like I'm not sure why it does this on the shoulders all the time. But it's not how the light works. Then Maki the Wolf asks, have you ever drawn a wrestler before with Leomon? Oh, thanks so much, Thriving Dreamer. Yeah, that's... And thanks for calling me Blan. Far from AI. Thanks so much. Yeah, I think like that's important, right? That... I'm happy that like it's really clear the human touch and stuff. And like the decisions on every tiny part. And even if the like imperfections everywhere, I think that adds to the charm. Says, but you definitely have already obtained more chests than most guys have. Not everyone can carry those keys, you know. Thanks so much. But I think also not everyone trains chest for 6 years, right? So, but I'm happy with it. Let's add some highlights next. making some highlights. Highlight time. And but yeah, I'll soon eat something. I'm also really happy with I started basically drawing when there was like I drew before, right? Like we have here. Like I drew before, like this was 2019, but like more like studying like anatomy and stuff was like 2023, and like even more so, I would say, was end of 2025. Wait a second. Like I did this, but then I did like one big drawing where I spent like 40 hours on it or something. Let's see what it is. It's also interesting for the art journey, right? Like, oh, this one. I will make like an art progress kind of video. And I think that will be fun. And I hope that's like motivating. Like if it's motivating for one person to draw a doodle or whatever, then it will have been totally worth it, right? So this was 2023, but then I like took a big break. Like back then I basically like drew one thing in like multiple months and then nothing at all. So this one here I would consider was like right. So like after this one here, I did like one study. That was like this drawing, right? And like for the skill that I have, it was totally like I tried with every part. Of course, like totally exaggerated, right? But like with every part, I tried to get this at as good as possible, even if I'm not there yet with the like 3D feeling and everything. Like I totally like found out that you can like connect things and stuff, and I took like 40 hours for this. And I guess like it was worth it, because like any practice is worth it and any progress is worth it. But I probably like could like have spent like the 40 hours to like draw like 4 10-hour drawings, or like, but like both make sense, right? Like to have like a longer piece and a quicker piece and stuff. And there I then like understood it more and stuff. But yeah, I think we are relatively good, and I will continue this. Like I will sleep over this probably. I like how like the form now turned out, right? Like it's easily readable. We can name all these things if you want to. Where I also think like not every artist who like is knowledgeable of like, muscle art draws that, right? Like draws it, but doesn't know how it's called, and they don't need that even. But for me, it makes it easier if I know how it's called, right? So I think it's nice here that we kind of like, just by going with the flow, arrived with the right muscles, right? Like we have extensor carpi radialis longus, we have extensor digitorum, we have extensor, how was it called? Extensor carpi ulnaris, and we have flexor carpi ulnaris, flexor ulnaris. Nice, right? So yeah. Was ist like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Ta-da! But yeah, basically this is almost finished. I just want to like sleep over it and go over a few details. I'm not sure if I will have it on stream again. Maybe I will show the end of it on stream or something. I will also like make a few lines here a bit like better readable, because there's like a bit much information here. But I think if you look at it, the arm, the fingers are not too like eye is instantly guided there, right? So like that's good. And if we frame it, would probably something like getting it as small as possible. And also just here, right? We could do it here. But I think just like this makes it a bit more... something like this, right? Ta-da! And it looks good. I'm really proud of this one. Thanks all so much for like sticking out with me for that. Like I mostly do this on the stream. So... and like I don't always draw like my... it physically doesn't matter. Like sometimes like creativity hits on the stream and sometimes out of stream. Make a wolf size. You should also do taller one. Is this a wolf? Yeah, yes. I think that's a cow, right? I also have one cow commission that I want to do. Yeah, that's also nice. But yeah, this is how it will look. Then, yeah, I think that's enough for today. We did our challenges with the hands. Thank you all so much for being there with me and motivating me. I feel that I'm improving much in the last few weeks. And I'm not sure where the journey will go, but I will do my best to improve as much as I can and also make more content for everyone. I also made a furry ASMR video that will be uploaded in the next few days, and my like art journey video, which I still have to narrate, but I did like all like this like gathering all the things together to kind of have like a presentation about it or something. I think that sounds good. And I think it's also really fun to see, right? Like I think like I'm so happy that I like have saved all the things. I mean like it's not that old, it's 2019, right? But still. Yeah. So that's it. Thank you all so much, and I will check who to rate now. Yes, everyone has a great day. Yeah, thanks so much for everyone for coming. Thanks for the donation. Thanks for watching and chatting with me. I feel so motivated. Yeah, I think I get a lot of energy from these streams too. But yeah. Okay, I will check who to rate now. Oh, Victim 2, welcome. Yes. I also want to draw Victim 2's character soon. Like I practiced so many cows, it will be great. So, also thank you so much for the patience for it. I learned by... No! I'm so sorry. But tomorrow I'll also have a stream. Okay, I think for now... So for now, I will rate Den. And it's just his second stream, so everyone be really nice to him. And he's doing a Blender sculpt, which is like crazy. I guess like a sculpt plan, but like I have a lot of air in my head. And I'm really like, what's called, comic-y. I'm really proud of my 3D model too though. And but yeah, I think we can learn a lot from him, or like at least I can learn a lot from him. And I think in some ways 3D modeling also gets me better at 2D art, but also 2D art gets me better at 3D modeling. Like when I learned that like the back has like back muscles and stuff, or like how a biceps works, I think my 3D model also got better. That's also why my 3D model got more muscular, but also like more like hands that had fingers and not just burger hands. Of course the burger hands are great too. So I will rate him now. And I need so much food. So see you all, and thanks so much for being there with me. And I will post this somewhere soon when I like totally finalized it and like went over it with fresh eyes and stuff, right? But I'm really happy about it. I hope I did the character justice. So then I'm ready to raid now. See you all on the other stream, and raid message, plan fox attack, and yeah.